Your central nervous system. All right. This next part, master control system in your body. Controls every cell, tissue, organ of your body. Makes your organs work and your body works able to move. It's the first system to develop. Most people don't think about that. When your body forms, the neural street forms first, 18 days, so that your nerve system can coordinate the formation of the other organ systems. The other organ systems cannot come into existence without your nerve system. And from that early stage, it starts coordinating all those other systems to regulate throughout your whole life. Everything you experience, mind, body, spirit, goes through that nerve system. It controls all function and healing. People get unhealthy neurological patterns, physical, chemical, and emotional stress that affect their immune system and their organ function. Our specialty, myself and my wife, and I'm going to use that picture forever. It's our engagement picture from, I don't know, I guess 13 years ago. So as long as I can pass it off, I'm going to still use it. Is helping people's nerve system function better because it affects their whole well-being and their immune system. We do a very specialized type of calculus network spinal analysis that advances the healing of a person's whole body. Strengthening the immune system. I mentioned that before. Getting regular care, getting regular exercise, getting more rest and relaxation does that. A very important study that I thought, let me see, now I'll go back to that. A very important study. There's a medical doctor, Dr. Henry Windsor. And he went to do a study on the effect of spinal vertebra and spinal nerves on diseased organs. He did hundreds and hundreds, I think it was 300 or 400 autopsies on people that had chronic disease organs, chronic disease heart, chronic disease liver, different things like that. And he found that 96% of people with diseased organs, think about this, 96% is pretty high, were directly related to stress on their nerves. 96%. So it's for something, for example, and I don't remember the exact numbers, like 17 people that had chronic digestive problems and stomach disorders, on autopsy, like 16 out of 17 had chronic nerve stress and damage on those nerves going to that area. I think that's amazing. And he here concluded that irritation is near the origin of nerves is going to cause organic changes in organs supplied by the nervous system. Most people don't realize that, and they think, well, if I have a pinched nerve, I feel that. But 90% of the time, you won't feel that because 90% of your nerves aren't sensing pain. So you have a change in the nerves that go to your stomach, for example, and not realize it. So people have to take care of the spine, whether it hurts or not, because 78% of their health disorders involve their spine. And to be healthy, their spine has to be maintained. Doctors at chiropractic specialize in restoring misaligned vertebra, and during our adjustments, use very gentle touches to help the whole nervous system heal and function better. And how do you know if your stress has left unhealthy neurological patterns? You don't. I didn't know that. I was about 13 years old, and I had a lifetime of knee disorders. My first 2 years of life, I had 12 rounds of antibiotics for ear infections. 24 months, every other month. My parents, because their doctors told them to, pumping me with antibiotics for ear infections. If you do that to someone in the first 2 years of life, they didn't know that in the 70s, but what do you think had happened to their immune system? It's going to be compromised. I was sick all the time, whole time growing up, grade school, fevers, missing school, miserable, and then by the time I was a teen, those unhealthy neurological patterns from the chemical distress that continued turned into allergies. Most people don't realize this. People have weakened immune systems have higher rates of allergies because allergies are sensitivities in your immune system. And my allergies just came out of the blue. I'd carry around tissues all the time. I'd be dripping snot constantly. My eyes would be bloodshot. I would be miserable. Now at this point, my mom had, she really turned her perspective. She wasn't giving us medications anymore. In fact, that mirror cabinet you have in your bathroom, what do you call that? Medicine cabinet. Okay? How did they get the patent on it? find another thing to name it, because if you call it a medicine cabinet, what's it going to attract? It's going to attract it because it's just going to, you're calling it that, so it's going to get those things in there. Call it something else. I don't have a term yet, but I'm going to come up with one. But we didn't have anything in there because we didn't have those in the household. My mom was like, you know, the typical 70s health nut before there was any big, you know, health stores, you know, that carried that kind of stuff. There was like, if you remember, there was like the little store that was smaller than this, that had all those supplements, all this healthy stuff, and like weird people went there. That was my perception at that time frame. All right, and there was a cultural perception at that time frame too. However, nothing seemed to help me get better. And randomly, a neighbor told my mom, take this kid to get his spine checked, go to her chiropractor, they're the largest drug list in the world. She could have said, well, his back doesn't hurt, there's nothing wrong with his spine, that's silly. I mean, many people still think that. She didn't, she took me. Within about a month, the allergies went away. I mean, it was like the lights turning on. And so much so that she decided she was looking for a health profession to do, to go back to school. She had me very young. She wanted to go back to school to do something related to health, but she wouldn't even give us aspirin. So she's like, I can't be a medical doctor because I just don't do that. And so she decided to go back to school to be a chiropractor because after seeing me struggle with my health all my life, she was like, this is what I want to do. If this has helped my son that much, that's what I'm going to do. So another thing that people don't realize is they think that their spine falling apart is a part of aging. That's not true. This one all the way on your left is what a normal healthy spine would look like. People often think that that just degrades with age. It isn't. If a person's spine is subluxated, loss of alignment, the first thing that happens phase one, they lose their curve and then reduce range of motion. If that stays like that, that starts to cause disc narrowing and bone spurs. And then if it continues, it causes fusion and permanent damage. Literally, I've seen thousands of x-rays over 15 years, and I have seen 70 and 80-year-olds that look like this phase one in normal, and I've seen 20-year-olds that look like this phase two. Just because they can have spinal distortions that have never been addressed. So 3 things we tell people is you have a spine, you should have it taken care of and looked at, you should have it checked. You should have it corrected when there's a problem and maintain it to stay well. I've had a lot of adjustments since I was 13. I will sincerely. I'm grateful to have lots of adjustments since I was 13 in the last 30 years.